Hey everybody, I'm Jennifer Zollinger and this is Math100G Personal Finance. I'm excited to be working with you guys. So I just wanted to kind of show you around our class and introduce you to what we'll be doing really quick here. And so this is our homepage in Canvas, and so if you haven't used Canvas before, I'd recommend starting here with these iLearn tutorials, and so that will give you some guides to using Canvas right there, and so that's a great place to begin if you're not familiar with it. Other things you'll see here on the home page, I really like over here, we have our to-do list. Shows upcoming assignments that you need to get done, and so this is really great reminder of things you need to complete over there. You'll also have, I know it says start here, we'll get there in a minute I think, but we have here a link, your instructor, so this does take you to my profile, and you'll see best way to contact me is email or the Canvas inbox over here is really great, and I check both of those all the time. You can also find in here a link to my virtual office, and so my office hours are by appointment, but if you need to meet with me, we'll set up a time and you can just use this link and that'll take you to my office right there. Alright, let's go back out here. And let's go ahead and go to this, and so clicking that Start Here button really takes you to this Modules tab, and so most of what you need will be right here in the Modules, and you can see right there is your textbook, and your textbook is great, it's free, you don't have to buy anything. You just come in here and you can click on whatever you need, and that will be your textbook right there, and so that's really great. You'll also find here all of your assignments, and so let's take a look at those a little. Typical week, what you'll have are some before gathering assignments and some after gathering assignments, and typically you'll find before gathering assignments are due on Wednesdays, and then after gathering assignments are due on Saturdays. You'll notice week one's the exception to that, with everything due on Saturday as we're just getting familiar and starting things out, but just be aware we typically have those two due dates right there. I won't go too much more into the types of assignments right now, but I'll put out weekly announcements kind of introducing those assignments as they come up. And so that's what you'll find right here as you click that Start Here button. The Student Resources button right here also takes you to the modules, you'll notice, but it'll take you down further to Student Resources, which are right at the bottom of the modules. And so these are really great, just some extra instructional videos if you need those, links to Khan Academy, some different support centers, and if you scroll up a little bit from there, you'll also find some lead student tools, which will come in handy if you're lead student for your gathering right there, and so those are all right there at the end of the modules. You can find those. And then also they have links to each week, and so just clicking on those takes you to each week specifically there in the modules as well. And so that's what you'll see here on the home page. You should also see at the top recent announcements. I haven't posted any yet, so nothing's showing up there. But as soon as I get announcements posted, you should start seeing those show up. I think it shows the most recent 2 announcements. If you need some of the previous announcements, you should start seeing an Announcements tab over here as well that you can click on and access those. Alright, let's take a look at your syllabus. So make sure you go through this entire syllabus, read through everything. I'm not going to do that right now with you guys, but a few things I did want to touch on in here. And so required materials, computer, internet access, make sure you have those and that they're reliable and consistent. You will also be using Word and Excel. If you don't have access to those, you're welcome to use Open Office Writer and Calc software. Those are free to download. You can get those. Or I know I've had people using Google Sheets before. That's a little trickier. Please, if you're using those, don't submit to me links to those sheets. I do need actual files, and so you would have to download those as Excel files or Word documents and then submit those. And if you need help with that, I can show you how to do that if you're using those. Optionally, you may want a microphone or a webcam and a webcam. If you're meeting in my office particularly, that microphone will be useful. And the webcam's mostly just kind of nice so we can see each other if you meet with me in my office. We already saw the textbook is free there. But you will also be reading a financial book and writing a book review on that as one of your assignments. And so we have a list of approved books there you can find in week 1 assignments. If you want to read a book not on the list, you do need my permission for that. And so just send me an email with the book you'd like to read, and I will take a look at it and let you know if it's appropriate for the assignment. You'll also want to have a basic scientific calculator, and so really this doesn't need to be anything expensive, no graphing calculator required for this, and truthfully most of you will have a calculator on your phone or your computer that will do everything you'll need. But if you don't happen to have one of those, really just something basic and nothing expensive there. Alright, some other things I wanted to touch on. Right here, your grading policies, and so your assignments are divided into 3 categories. You have your math coursework, and so this is a big chunk of your grade, 70%, and so these will be quizzes and projects and exams and things like that. You'll also have citizenship assignments, and so these will be exercise practice and report assignments, reflections, and a few other things like that. And then you also have attendance, of course, and so that's just reporting on your gathering attendance. And so it does talk about that a little bit here. And so talking about, okay, if things like illnesses or something temporary like that, you miss it, and you're going to miss those attendance points. And these are things that aren't typically excused, but sometimes something big happens, unavoidable emergencies, and so please, if these things happen, let me know, and I can excuse you for attendances for these things, but they are pretty big things that have to happen for that. Let's see, and then here we have also important, making sure you go to those gatherings. You'll find for the first 3, really only losing the points for the attendance report and the assignments that you missed from the gathering. But once you hit 4 absences, your final grade is docked 10%, and then at 5 or more, it's docked 15%. And so that's a big impact on your grade. So just be aware of that and make sure you're going to those gatherings. All right, we talked about due dates a little bit already. Late work, you're allowed up to 3 late assignments for full credit, and then other assignments after those 3, I do dock 10% per day that they're late, up to 50%. And so even if you're really late, you can still get some points, and so I really recommend get those assignments in, because even 50% is better than 0 on an assignment. So just be aware of that and try and get your assignments in on time. Exams and quizzes. So this is kind of important. They have this policy set up for exams and quizzes. If you score 75% or less on your first attempt of a quiz or an exam, you are required to retake them. And so quizzes should be set up so that you can just go in yourself. I think you have 3 attempts on your quizzes, and so if you notice, oh, I didn't score high enough on this and I need to retake, you can do that on your own. And so just be aware of that. With exams, you will have to contact me for those retakes, and typically I will try and contact you. I'll notice, oh, they scored less, they need to retake this, and I try and reach out. Particularly because with the exams, if you until you do that retake, your grade will be entered in the gradebook as a 0 for that exam, and so really important. If you get that 75% or less on an exam, you don't want to get the 0, and so really important that you do that retake, and so make sure that gets done on the exams. The only exception to this is the final exam, and there is only one attempt on the final exam, no retakes allowed, so just prepare carefully for that final exam. Alright, I think that was everything I wanted to touch on in there. Do make sure you read through everything else on your own. We've already looked at modules. Let's look at your grades over here. And so this is what your grades look like. My test student, not doing too well yet. They haven't turned anything in yet. But typically you'll see your actual grade up there and then each assignment score. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of everything here, you'll find the different categories and you'll have a score for each of those and then a total score at the bottom right there. And so that's what your grades will look like there. The People tab is kind of handy. Right now, only showing me, but typically once everybody's into the class, you'll see everyone showing up in here, and you can click on each of those and they will take you to their profiles. And so I really recommend go into your profile, put up a picture, put some information in there so we can get to know each other a little bit. And then the last tab over here is the course help. And so these are some really great links to the Math Study Center, or scheduling a tutor, or some different things here that are really great. And so just be aware these are here if you need that extra support. Alright, I hope that helps you get started. I know that was a lot, so please do let me know if you have any questions. Send me an email or a message, or you can just reply to this announcement asking any questions, and I'm happy to help you out with anything you need.